fighting. There's two, there's three.
Hello, hello, Minnesota, how we doing? Yeah! Listen, it's gonna be a fun one. It's gonna be a sensational weekend. We've already got upsets. We've had one match. It's a 3-0, none of us saw coming. It's going to be a glorious and beautiful weekend. And now we continue on. It is time for our next match. We are going to meet our teams. We've got Boston Breach going up against the Los Angeles Guerrillas. First up, let's meet Boston Breach. Capsidal, Methodz, TJ, and Nero.
8-6 in the CDL, the crowd is loving him. Look how big that boy Cap is right there. I can't wait to see him on that main stage.
Listen, they've been tearing it up throughout the stage. 2 qualifiers. These guys have come in with a fantastic seed, and I'm looking at them to crack into that top 3, and they have a great route to do it. All they have to do is win this match versus LAG with the sub, and then beat the Mutineers, who they have an advantage over, but it starts right here.
And this next team might be a tricky one, Maven. I think they're gonna live up to their name, man.
Yeah, this, for Guerrillas, I mean, you're in a tough spot, right? Gunless not here, Spartan filling in, everything against you, going up against this Boston Breach team, but do they have what it takes? Let's meet them. Let's take a look at Los Angeles Guerrillas.
I love the crowd.
Slasher, Asim, Spark, and Hoop.
And when all eyes on Spartan is itself and this team, I'm personally feeling like this is Slasher's job to really step it up.
Absolutely, as a veteran on this squad, he's gonna have to be that leading voice, having that missing piece in Pierce. But you know what? Spartan's looking comfortable on that main stage, and now you have added a lot of sub-aggression to the squad, so we'll see what they're able to do.
Hey, yo, Maven, let's get this ball rolling, man.
You guys ready? Yeah! Here we go. Let's get it going. It's time for Boston Breach, Los Angeles Guerrillas. To our commentators, Brycey and Tung.
All right, thank you very much. We are here, we are live at the Major, and we are looking forward to this game. Of course, Boston Breach being in the ascendancy recently. We are looking forward to see how far they can go. And LAG, it's all about their sub and seeing just how good they actually are.
Yeah, it's really going to be a litmus test straight out the gate for LAG. We know how good Breach have been, but I think the big story around this game is looking at who they're going to be playing next, going up against Florida Mutineers for a spot in the winners bracket final. This game is huge in the grand scheme of things for both of these two teams. They'd be looking at that next game, not looking past their current opponent, but at the same time, you'd be thinking about that next game, thinking, right, we got a good chance at top 3 here.
Yeah, 100%. And of course, both these teams just looking to make a name here at the Minnesota Major. And I'll tell you something, right? For me, Boston last time around, I thought top 6 was a good placement. This time, they can go significantly further.
They really can. They have been impressive, and we were questioning, because we were casting their game against London, whether or not they could break that top 3 mold that we thought that we had. However, that has maybe changed after the last game that we just seen on stage. However, they could not beat London, so where is their limit? Going up against LAG, though, I think they were talking about it on the desk. We would very much be looking at this game beforehand with Gunless in there and thinking this should be a very, very decent, very close game. But with Spark coming in, it's a little bit more difficult for the LAG.
Many things to talk about with LAG as well, by the way. I'm convinced this team was on the way up as well. They look very, very good. Coming obviously with Spart as a sub, and I'm actually a big fan of Spart, but it's difficult to kind of benchmark him when the first team he plays against is OpTic. This, though, is an actual much better test. We get to see whether or not LAG have the fortitude to adapt, improvise, and overcome.
Absolutely. Let's see how he does in the first game. We're going to be kicking it off with Gav. Very excited to get into this one. And again, I mean, for Boston, I like this map as well. I'm very interested to see how he is going to break down. I agree with Ali, though, that as far as it goes with the picks and bans, very much a Boston win on that front. LAG are going to have to bring everything here. Maybe a bit of a different setup with Smart in there, of course, no Gunless, and we wish you well. PS getting better, but into this game, very excited for what should be an absolute banger.
All right, wow, let's head into the ring first of all and get a bit mixy as both teams look to trade out and try to get this first amount of time on the hill.
Let's see what Hoop can do. Just looking to get some P1 control. Of course, we're going to be concentrating on in and around ring, but looking over towards P2 is what primarily teams are going to be doing here, but you need to try and clear out over towards P1. The best to start to Spartan as he does now fall. Trading back and forth, though, it is going to be LAG who get control, looking towards both, though. Boston Breach ready and wet.
Well, the man of the moment, Methodz, 3-0 straight off the rip here, and a player who has just been exceeding all expectations so far around, as Boston will eventually start taking ring control away as Nero shuts it down as we head over towards Boat.
His rotational kills are going to start coming in shortly. Methodz doing his best just to stay alive. Is he going to be ready and waiting? One player there for the LAG sitting up top 3, and he's waiting for him. Is the team going to be able to find this shot? Good shots from Methodz. The rest of his team, are they there to help? Seems as if LAG have broken through, and there he is. Slasher breaks in. LAG get control.
Big shot down from Slasher there in the end, and it will be them trying to get some points back on the board here. Let's see whether or not Boston can actually breach this hill. They're trying to get bodies in the right positions, but losing gunfights left, right, and center.
Hook very advanced up, pushed up towards green. Try and find as many kills as he can. Staying alive is even better. Can he find these shots into Nero? Nicely played from Hook. Second shots, TJ, a little bit windy. But nonetheless, the first shots are there. Can they continue to clean up here for LAG? Very good hold here over towards P2. Still 30 seconds remaining. And it's interesting to see how LAG work with this new pickup that does come on through, because of gun list. The ARs right now are crispy, and LAG find themselves in the lead.
Well, for LAG, while they will have this scrap time, they're going to be looking to try and get this rotation locked down already. You can see top ring, that's going to be Capsidal up there, just causing an issue. And for LAG, a little bit of slow pace here, trying to find out where this weakness is, get the kills, and then move forward.
Next couple kills are really big. His Methodz turn around at the right time he has, but he is going to expect spot there as well. Not quite. Look at that actually from Capsidal coming round on the outside once again. Green control spawns there for Breach. Super important kill for Cap, taking down Spot. Now if you're busting Breach, you just have to watch the front. You just have to watch P1, but no longer. TJ finds 2 over here, but who can make the play? Look at the spawns.
Well, here we go. They're going to try and make something out of this one as well. The Capsidal at the back. Not able to get that second player. Eventually will do. And that's a big shutdown from Boston Breach. They're not letting them anywhere near this. However, outnumbered but outgunned. It's only Nero left alive in it, but Methodz to the rescue. He's up top ring and he's trying to shoot everybody going for his teammate. And he's not going to make it as LAG eventually break through. And that'll be enough for Boston Breach. They're going to rotate.
Yeah, that's fine for Boston, to be honest with you. You pick up the majority of the time, and you get rotations over towards P4. Capsidal in ring, though. Is he going to see Slasher down low? Just a rock protecting Austin at the moment. But the push is going to have to come in. You have to get through Capsidal before you get any beach control. But Slasher is going to be the guy. Can he find a route through here? Because Boston Breach, the trenches are done.
Well, Slasher will get one, but Capsidal quickly get that trade back as well. Asim is up here, and Capsidal is just playing frustrating. He's not giving them an opportunity to shut it down, and I say that, and Asim gets him. Asim, though, going to keep pushing forward. It's eventually taken down here as well, and now, if you are Boston Breach, you've got to be careful not to be pushed back into that spawn, and TJ says no.
Really big kills as the rest of the team were coming in off respawn. Now pushing it forward, trying to force it out. They kind of try and want to flip this now. You want LAG spawning over towards the back rocks if you can find these kills and force your way out. Still Boston spawning there, and more kills coming in for Boston. TJ's doing an important job now. If he can continue to extend and continue to find kills, we may see LAG start to spawn towards the back if they're not careful. Spot with an important kill, though. These rotations over towards P4 are in for LAG, but that is a lot of time for Boston Breach.
It certainly is. We're going to find out, though, how do Boston break this next hill on the rotation. Let's go for a Boston Breach. Listen in.
What's happening, guys? What's happening?
Okay. The ring stabs? The ring stabs, Kyler? Yep, I'm checking time. No, the ring stabs still, Kylie.
Where's the outside? Where's the outside? I don't see this guy down. Yo, the ring tank.
Yeah, there's two ring. One ring tank. Nice, one's the ring tank, Kyler.
Top, he's like, there's
two steps.
Oh, right here.
Yep.
Do this
There's two steps. Ace, Sim, and Kyler are both ring steps.
I got one. I'll see him on top, guys. Back top.
I spawn first guy.
It's 20 back. Push it up, guys.
Okay. Back, Kyler down. Second cut, first cut. He's retake, the retake.
I'll close that. I don't see ring tank. Yeah, he went there.
I'm rotating.
No, I have time. No, I don't left cut.
Oh, that's huge.
He just crossed it. They're both there. Yeah, you guys can leave me hold if you want me to.
One's dude, dead.
One more, no? I think he's arched out already.
Yeah, he is. He's on low beach. Slasher.
Low beach dead.
Nice, good.
Okay, I'll have any. I think one's already low. I think he's already low.
I got low.
I think I shot him low.
I got low.
They left me hold, guys. They left me hold.
And the points that was going to come in off the back of that listening was LAG, that rotation for the Boston Breach as well. It didn't look like they were going to find the break. They did. They get a lot of time. And then they initially win this rotation over towards P1. LAG will bring it back. For the most point in that first rotation of hills, though, the teams that were there first were holding it down. We know that's typical, but neither one of these teams breaking well up until we got to that fifth hill.
Yeah, and that might be the difference here, but as you can see, the LA Guerrillas currently have top ring control. TJ going straight in with a pistol, looking for two! It's not quite the best weapon Almost makes it work though, but LAG hold on. And it looks like they might get one last push coming through as well. It's going to be Nero opening up proceedings. He will be taken down by Slasher. Just one left as Capsidal locks it. But it will be LAG who've already made a home of both.
Boston Breach breaking a lot better in these last couple of hills. LAG need to find themselves a good hold here. Up 30 behind them. Well, those 3 kills on the board may well help it. Spawn's coming in here for Breach as well. It's not too bad for them if you're thinking about P3, but we've got a long way to go till then. But both these two teams locking these hills in so well. LAG, let's see what they can do here over towards both.
Well, you can already see Slasher trying to make a little bit of move for his team here, trying to get any reinforcements away from his teammates. Doing a fantastic job of it as well. LAG will lock this down. They keep feeling like we're seeing the same story over and over again. LAG get the rotation, but Boston Breach find a way to get that lead back. Can they do it one more time?
The ARs and LAG really performing quite well. 20 and 11 from Slasher. We were speaking about it at breakfast this morning. LAG, what we need to see is more consistency from the ARs. Spartan, not a bad thing to kick things off with just a relatively neutral game. But look at this already. This is about a 13, make it 14 spree for LAG combined. It's eventually going to be broken by TJ. But that is a very nice hold. They're well and truly back into this game and may well just take the lead in the second.
Well, here comes the big rotation as LAG take the lead for the first time. And you can already see Boston Breach are here, and they're probably a little bit worried about how much they're being outslayed. Spartan and Simp doing the work again. A big fight up top ring as well. And if both players going to go down, the stun eventually gets the trade in for them. But neither team in a good position to actually hold this beach rotation.
It's all about P1 control. Which way is it going to go? Spartan a 5 spree, and I'd like to see him take his time with that one as Boston Breach will find the kills over towards P1. And mid-map 4 dead, and all of a sudden LAG have got quite a task on their hands to get back into this hill. This could be good time for the Boston Breach. Spartan will open things up. Push all the way from the back for LAG. P1 control is so crucial. Look at Slasher.
Here comes Slasher. He's going to try and open this up for his teammates as well. Safe down. Capsidal will get taken out, but the opening is gone here. LA Guerrillas are pushing forward. TJ to the rescue once again, and it doesn't matter as Boston Breach hold it. The rotation will now come in. Boston Breach are in the lead, and LAG have now got to find a way to punch through mid-map.
Breach in the prime position to win this game now. LAG, it's all about these rotational kills if you can possibly find them. Shot's going to come in from a Seam and Hook. It's going to be a trade so far. Methodz is going to be the last one there, though, for the Breach locking it in. Look at those green arrows in the bottom left corner. All spawning up exactly where you want to see them if you're from Boston. 3, 1, and 4 sprees going on for the Breach right now. They lock in P4 control. They are 30 points away from locking in map number 1.
Well, LAG, that's a big kim from a Seam. They're going to try and get through as well, though. Methodz is holding fast. He knows he's got to keep these reinforcements from overwhelming his teammates at any point. LAG is stacked. They have bodies in the area. Hugo opens up proceedings. Capsidal firing on all cylinders. Shuts it down for them as well. Seam, the last man alive from LAG, trying to keep this door open, trying to allow his team to get through into this one. But it's still at the moment Boston Breach. All firing on all cylinders. One last chance. Hugo's in, but it's no good. Methodz with a 3-piece, and that is a shutdown for Boston Breach.
Really good map number 1 out of Breach. The rotations were on point for both of these two teams, but the breaks come from Breach when they are needed. LAG looked like they were coming back in that second rotation over towards P2, but since then it's Boston. That flip over to 4 from 3 was phenomenal, and they will lock in map number 1. Their hard point at this moment in time has been brilliant. LAG can't keep up those breaks.
Yeah, kind of incredible actually. LAG, you felt like they had it in the cusp of their hands. Boston Breach were not in a good position. And you are right, it's all about that flip. Realistically, that is when the game changed.
It has to be said, we've talked about Seam being one of the more consistent performers. Let's not delve too much into 16 and 27, but he's one of those players that when you think about breaks for teams, you think about LAG, you think about a Seam and Hook doing the business. A Seam can't quite find those up close and personal kills to help his team out to get those breaks. On the other side, Cap had a phenomenal game, especially towards the end. And it was pretty even until we got that second rotation, really, wasn't it? But yeah, those breaks coming in for the Breach do really make that difference.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I just don't think maybe that a Seam suits Kuavo as much as he does other maps. It is difficult.
It's a
lot of very good ARs on this. Methodz usual, running everything he can do. TJ had a very good game as well. And you can see, though, very tight between these two teams coming into it, and that's kind of what we expected. We did ask about the difference that Spark would make on it, and Spark had a pretty good game himself.
Yeah, not too bad from him doing his job. Essentially, if Gunless was in there, you'd be relatively happy with that performance from him, because Slasher stepped up in a big, big way. But not in a big enough way at the end of the day. Boston Breach will get it done. Just those rotations over towards those last two hills. Get the job done. Boston Breach with a lead now, heading into a search and destroy coming up next. You got to be feeling good if you're a Boston Breach fan. 250 to 180 is the score to close things out here up against LAG. We knew it would be a tall order for LAG. We really did. It's not just about, comparatively when you say Gunless and Smart as players, but it's that practice you put in together. It's the progress that we've seen from LAG as well. It stunts that progress, doesn't it, when you don't have one of your better players on your roster.
Yeah, and here's the thing coming into this one as well. We had heard good things about LAG coming out of it. The practice they had managed to get, it seemed to be a significant upgrade from the last time they played together as a team. The one caveat to that, though, was the fact that the S&D was a little bit more of an issue for them. They've been struggling to get those strategies nailed down as much as they had, and that's the difference of playing with somebody for 1 week and playing with somebody for several months.
Yeah, absolutely. That team cohesion isn't maybe there as much as you would like it. Maybe that's why we didn't see as many breaks. Spark, though, not too bad of a game. Nice one to ease yourself in, albeit you did lose it. It's a very long series, and things can change very, very quickly. We've already seen a huge surprise to kick off the day, and well, it would maybe be a little bit of a surprise to see LAG come back and win this one themselves as well. But Asim, he's really the guy when I look at this roster. If I see a big performance from him, these guys have potential to beat a lot of the teams here in the CDL. Didn't necessarily see that from him in map number 1, albeit we know Gabutu is quite difficult for SMGs to sometimes get the ball rolling and can feel like you're running into a brick wall of ARs. Very much the case for him in that map number 1. So let's see if he can turn up in map number 2.
Yeah, again, I think that was the difference. I think it's just Gabutu. There was a lot of issues trying to get actually up the map and hold those positions, and it can be like that, especially with the rotations on this map. The ARs are firing at all cylinders. You just find yourself running into the teeth of gunfire over and over again, and that's what you're supposed to do. If you're trying to push that objective, you're trying to put the pressure on, well, you've got to keep moving forward. And if the way forward is full of guns, well, that's not bad for you.
And then that's you need your ARs to be winning your gunfights as well, so then you can get in those positions to cause some problems. And unfortunately for Asim, couldn't get going there. We will be ready to go here into map number 2 very, very shortly. Small issue on stage that we are now figuring out. We will get into the search and destroy. But for Boston, that's the best possible start that you could have wanted. And especially, they would have been watching that first game as well, and they will be licking their lips at the thought of a winner's bracket semi-final up against the Florida Mutineers. And that's no disrespect to Mutineers, but Boston, who would you rather play, Mutineers or London? Well, I know the answer to that question.
Well, anything can happen on land, but before we take a walk all the way to the end of this bracket, let's find out what could be happening in this search and destroy. Capsidal versus Hugh are our players to watch this one. The top performers in it, obviously, big Capsidal are 1.20 and 7.3 kills per 9 rounds.
Yeah, it's a very solid stat line for Capsidal, and a very solid stat line if you're a Boston Breach fan. For Hook, though, we know that he is one of those guys. He's going to kind of have to match up with some of the other players on this roster, not necessarily Capsidal. Really, what you want to see is Asim have a good game here going up against Cap, but these are the top performers for both of these two teams. And they're really going to have to be at it here, especially for Hook, if they want to take this search and destroy. We know their woes so far have not necessarily worked out in their favor. Looking over their last 10 games, they are 4-6 in search and destroy. And generally, you look at Boston 6-4, so the kind of flip, of course. But heading into Berlin, how are things going to go here? We were talking about the sites and which sites are preferred. Let's see if the teams have done their homework as we head into this one. Or for LAG, do they change it up with the difference of roster as we head over towards Berlin? The fast B, very much the route for Breach. Get those routes down, get that bomb down. Get your ARs watching, it usually works out for you.
Well, we are going to find out, of course. This is a big map for Boston Breach. They can nail this one down. They're looking at the cusp of moving forward, but it's the man again. It's Methodz, 20-13, a 1.54. And that's just in this series alone. And I said, I have said I didn't know how much Methodz would be the top of our leaderboards coming into this season, but he has done nothing but impress.
Yeah, he's been really, really good, especially in Season 2. When we've looked over towards Stage 2, I should say, sorry, he really has improved his game. We typically see that slower play style from him. He is one of the slower players in the league, but You would think on Vanguard it wouldn't work out for him, but he's definitely stepped that pace up. He's been finding the gunny as well. And Berlin in particular, I think, was one of the maps we've seen on stage 2 where he really started to light that fire for his team. So if he can bring that kind of level, albeit being Search and Destroy, that fast B push that we have just talked about there, though, it works out kind of in his favor. He's one of those players, he's going to be a back dogs, he's going to be locking it down. Can he do that effectively here up against LAG? If he can do a 2-0 lead for Boston heading into map number 3, you'll be feeling good about the series for them. But yeah, he has been a catalyst for this team.
Well, here's one of the things we're talking about. Like, just a few minutes ago, we said about how SND may be an issue for LAG with the sub. Now, on Berlin, if I remember correctly, last time around I saw LAG, Gunless was causing issues with that sniper. Now, obviously, not here. Yeah. I wonder how they've adapted their strategies. How are they now going to play around that? How have they adapted? What is left back into this? Because obviously, we've seen the statistics. Boston, straight to B. Gunless is no longer there. Have they pushed up? Have they figured something out? We can see Spark running a sniper. There are a lot of variables now coming into this.
And that's the thing, you know, we were sat backstage kind of looking through some of the stats, and it was kind of, like for the side of LAG at least, how much stock do we put into some of these? How much do we really understand what kind of impact it's going to make, either negatively or positively, for Spark coming in? And many would presume that it would be negative, of course. Not in a bad way towards Spark, but you change out Gunless for a player that hasn't necessarily been up at the top level quite so far, then, well, maybe it does make things a little bit more difficult for LAG, but second time is the charm, I think. Is that the saying? Not quite, but Berlin, here we go, hopefully, into this one once more. But for LAG, you never know, it's a little bit of a mixer, isn't it? When it comes to Search and Destroy, you can try and change things around, see how it goes, but that sniper for Gunless doesn't look like it's going to be taken up by anybody else. But as we head into this one, LAG looking to fight back here after a comfortable game in map number 1 for Boston. Can LAG tie things up here on Berlin Search and Destroy?
Well, we are about to find out. Straight on board with Spark, and maybe not.
Never mind.
Never mind.
See, it wasn't second time the charm. That's not the saying. It's third.
Cursed it.
Yeah, no,
Really cursed it.
Yeah, just blame me for that one. That's fine. But it looks like we aren't going to be jumping into this one. We will have another small technical break. Look. I'm sorry. We'll get it going. Blame us, if anybody. But we are going to be... I mean, I know you do. But for this one, though, I think... For LAG, they were looking at this game, and I think as an overall whole, yes, of course they will want to win it, but I think it's very important for them to just get Spot up and rolling. If he can just have an okay game, heading in that losers bracket, you know, getting some practice on the main stage, getting him comfortable in this scenario would still be a small win, I think. I mean, look, it's only 1-0 to Boston right now. Things can change up very, very quickly, but I think for the LAG, getting Spot just comfortable in that stage, take those small wins where you can.
Yeah, like I said, there's an awful lot of series left, an awful lot of tournament left here at the Major, so don't want to count our chickens before they've hatched, of course, but coming into this, Boston Breach were the favoured team anyway. Like I said, a lot of people keeping an eye on them, wondering what exactly is their top placement. Obviously, at this point, I think the smart money is saying definitely better than last Major.
Yeah,
but
well,
how much better?
I mean, I think had you put London through up against Florida, it would have kind of been in and around the same sort of realms, kind of putting them in that top 6 conversation once more. However, they've got a fairly decent route to top 3 now, Brycey. I'm not going to lie. It's looking quite tasty, of course, with OpTic and FaZe on the other side of the bracket. A game against Florida, potentially, of course, if they can get past LAG here. You would fancy Boston. You would fancy Boston 9 times out of 10 to get themselves to that winners bracket final. But looking over the overall stats so far for both these two teams in the CDL, obviously things looking a lot better for the side of Boston Breach.
Yeah, and that's kind of to be expected, especially since, like we said before, this is a team that has come on leaps and bounds. I always say the funniest thing about Boston for me at the moment is when they had to move up from the position we had them like top 6 before, funny enough, the 2 teams that were in front of them also now absolutely terrible. So not only did Boston get better, they didn't even need to. We were already put them up in the power rankings regardless. But this team has been finding almost a chemistry, almost an intangible that has just been making them better over and over against some of the best teams. And I'm looking forward to now seeing them at the Major against teams like Atlanta, against teams like OpTic. Not London, they just lost. But, you know, those kind of high-caliber teams and seeing, you know what? They've done an awful lot of work to improve. What has that done?
With the youngsters coming into this squad, there was always going to be the case that they should get better over time. But speaking of people coming into squad, Spark with 1.1 to kick things off. You know, say maybe a touch more, but that's not too bad for somebody just slotting in and doing his role. But yeah, very right when it does come towards the Boston Breach, those young players on it. And is it their time the charm? It looks that way. It's Boston now looking to go 2-0 up, but can LAG pose an issue here as it's a hit over towards A?
Well, here comes the push.
He's got no backup.
Just trying to thread the needle. Capsidal in the corner. This is where it's going to be a little bit tense before a team makes a move.
Seems like they're waiting on a mistake. Somebody just to step out of line that little bit so they can find the pick. But it does seem as if LAG now posturing just that little bit more. Capsidal ready and waiting, patient as well. Doesn't challenge out. Maybe the bait coming in with the doors. He's the only one inside, though. Needs a little bit of support from his team. Can he see Hook? I think he sees the barrel of his gun there, you know. The call-out will be coming on through. Capsidal just trying his best to stay alive, find information for his team, and it's actually warned LAG off. Look at this push up towards B. The fight's going on the other side of the map, though. That Slasher will win. Capsidal will find the kill onto Hook, but transition to B for LAG may well work out.
Well, that's going down fast, but bearing in mind, Boston Breach are aware of this battle, though. Shutting it down. Methodz going to try and make a magical play. Does get it, but that bomb has already gone down. Methodz now looking for another player. A 2 versus 2 here as well. And what is going to happen? Because we know Methodz going to be looking for it. Capsidal around the back. Slasher 1v2.
Let's see if they knew where Slasher was there. I think the thing is, though, that Capsidal, he's wrapped all the way. 3-1. No, Slasher's back here, and Methodz. He's going to go for the child. Slasher will back down. 20 seconds still to go on the bomb. Capsidal made that good play to get himself around the back, but Methodz now, can he find the pick?
Technically, this is Slasher's ace. But look at it, he's got a force through, but it will be taken down by Methodz. And they managed to clutch it up in the 1v1. Boston Breach. And I'll tell you something as well, that Boston Breach reacted so well to that rotation. They put bodies towards B very, very quickly.
And I really like the rotation, if I'm honest with you, out of LAG. Couldn't really find any information over towards A. They were baiting, they were trying to get Capsidal out of his little corner, but in the end they find nothing, they rotate. Super important kills coming in from Slasher, of course, but can't quite win the gunfight. He needs to peek, get Methodz in a good spot, knowing that Slasher is towards the back. And that is the round. Well retook from the side of Boston Breach. That's the defense over towards them. Now, what can LAG do? I said we kind of know what Breach like to do here. Do they choose to do it this time? You can see LAG sent 3 over towards B.
Wow. Capsidal, though. Struggling to get up the stairs. At the moment, though, just playing a little bit cautious. Both these two teams looking for that information, and that is what this is all about. Figuring out where the other team is sitting. What can we do? What can't we do? Already some shots going down. Slasher fires, and TJ tries to capitalize on it. It hasn't happened yet. Slasher gets away with very minimal HP.
Yeah, they force him out of fire, but it's not really where Boston Breach are concentrating their efforts. As you can see now, is this actually been indicative for the LAG? It sounds like they're transitioning themselves over towards A. Look at this bomb. It's Capsidal in its hands. Is he going to get away as well? That's a big, big play to come out from him. And honestly, if I see my bomb carrier do that, I'm like, what the hell are you doing? But it's going to work out either way. Spot will not quite even the odds. He trades it out to 3v2 in favor of the Boston Breach.
Well, Boston Breach now do have control of that A site.
Such a hard break.
Seam and Spart looking for it. Seam does get the first kill, bringing this back to a 2 versus 2. They've got a little bit of time to play with, but not an awful lot. They're going to have to start thinking about how to break this one down. See, desperately looking for Nero as well.
That's
They're going to find
huge.
it. Now a 2 versus 1. It's all on TJ to figure this out. All the pressure on his shoulders. Everything to come up against. And he is going to get taken down the back, and LAG do it. 2 versus 3. And Asim had the patience and the knowledge to figure out what Boston were doing. And he's picked them apart.
And very importantly, he had the gunny. That second kill onto Nero was massive. And for Asim to find all 3 kills at the back, Spot's like, well, they haven't pushed out, so they must be there. He's given him the information. It's not necessarily the gunfights that are coming through for Spot to help his team out there. But nonetheless, Asim gets the job done for the side of LAG to tie things up. It really wasn't looking likely. And I think if you're Boston Breach, the coach, their dens in the back will be a little bit questionable on that one. Nice little setup over towards it. LAG will take those routes all day long. 3 kills there for Asim. Can they find something over towards B potentially here for the LAG?
Oh, already you can see a little bit of pressure coming up the map. Who is that? It's Hugh. Is he going to find something on the flank here as well? No, shut down by Methodz straight away. And now if you're LAG, you're a man down and no site control.
I think for Boston, though, they will look at that push that's come through from Hook there. They really will have actually no information on the rest of LAG, though, because they will must be an A push. Look at LAG. Over towards B, but Nero, he'll get that stun coming over towards his face, as will the grenade. Nero 2 HP and no HP. His Spot will find the second 3v3.
Wow, they're going to make a move here now. TJ on the cross, though. Shuts it down. This leaves LAG in a horrible position. Methodz gets another one. And Spart's like, well, I've got to get that bomb and plant it. And there are many players now aware of what's going to come for it. Methodz is going to see him as well. He takes the gunfight. Spart wins it. Is there a slight chance of redemption? A 1 versus 3 here for Spart. He's looking for the play. He's going to see Capsidal on the truck. He puts some bullets in as well. He might be pinched. Somehow slips the net. Going to fly out. He's going for this one as well against Capsidal. He gets it. Spart for the 1 versus 3. He just has to find TJ.
Time's not on his side. 11 seconds to go. And TJ knows what he's got to be trying to do here. Spart, he's got to go for it. He's got to go for it. Is TJ going to get the angle? He is going to see him. Is he going to stick it? No, he isn't. TJ gets away. You're going to chase him. Run away. See you later, son. And Boston Bridge will find it. I appreciate the challenge coming in from Spart there. I get it. But it's a 50-50. TJ makes the right decision, gets himself out. And that is unfortunate. A really good try from Spart.
So close, but just not quite able to get it. And Spart almost had Boston Breach in the pocket. But it has been a game of very slim margins for these two already. Boston Breach currently leading 2-1 as they go on the attack. And again, we're going to see Capsidal kind of play a solo role, even though he's got the bomb.
This man's on an island.
Oh my goodness, get up the stairs.
That's me on Sunday night in the bar, am I right? Capsidal, what can you do from this position, though?
Well, this is, again, it's just watching outside ticket. Boston Breach are looking for information to try and figure out where they can apply the pressure. And both teams looking a bit statuesque as they just try and figure this one out. Again, lots of pre-aiming, lots of waiting in the corners. It is going to be on Boston to try and figure out and make a move, though.
Oh, there you go. TJ will find the first pick in towards A. Now the push is going to come through. Who can find nothing? Methodz is the only one who can actually do something for the LAG here. But they back off wisely away from the bomb. Those grenades, the utility will be coming on through. The ramp's going to come in for Boston Breach as well. Spart's got a huge job to do. This is ships in the night kind of scenario, but Methodz will be taken down. Good positioning from Spart, 2v2.
Surely not again. Angeles Guerrillas have managed to make it 2 versus 3 last time around. Looking for Capsidal, and he's not able to get it. Hesitates for just a second and will go down. It's now Slasher who has to try and clutch this one up. It's never easy at B. He's going to be looking for this first player. Also, sounding like an absolute tank as he's running.
Stopping through. Nero doesn't hear him, but does find the shots. Boston will find another close round. For Spart there in that scenario, that's so tough. You've got a stun in your hand just to open the doors up at minimum for your team to try and find that information. Can see him kind of second guesses himself. And always a difficult spot. So a little bit of breathing room now for the side of Boston Breach. It's been very slow on the attack in the first 80 seconds or so for both these teams. Nobody seemingly wanting to make that first move. And when they do find that pick, though, it suddenly bursts in the light. But there you go, another round for the Breach. LAG. Spart, who nearly pulled off the 1 versus 3. It's going to be a big B defense coming in here for the side. Boston Breach. Spart's going to get taken down pretty much immediately by Methodz. Capsidal with another now 4v2, I should say.
Already there, trying to lock this one down. Hugh's going to be able to get one back, though. Slasher, though, runs straight into the gunfire of Methodz, and it leaves Hugh all alone.
Not much to be done here for Hook, but maybe if you can get around these two players.
Surely not.
Surely they haven't just left this completely open. There's TJ gone, now 1 versus 2. Has time to play with here as well, but the lack of bomb is what's going to hurt him.
You can see, I mean, he's basically smacked every door in the map at this point, but
sees him.
Around and around he goes. Surely he's not going to find another kill. It's Hugh. He's got it down. It's almost a 1 versus 3. It's now a 1 versus 1.
He would have watched the kill cam. The information would have been there for the side of Nero, 30 seconds to go. And the thing is, they'll know where the bomb is. That's the problem with Hook, so the notification will come up necessarily here for Nero. He's going to get a little bit of information. It's going to be about the fight, though, isn't it? Because Hook will know. He knows where he is now. 15 seconds to play with.
Well, this is it. All Nero, all the time. He's not seen him. He's not seen him. He's not seen him. He's not seen him.
Does he get out?
He's going to get down! And so close, but just not enough.
Boston Breach need to tighten up on some of these rounds. They very much could, well, I mean, they are in a comfortable position. They are just about winning their ones. There's been 2 scenarios now where it's been a pretty much implausible 1v3 for somebody on the side of LAG, I should say. It's come very, very close both times. You need to stop this getting so close because Boston Breach, I mean, this could very, very well be 3-2 Guerrillas. 2 1v1s fall the way of Breach, and it will go their way, but they've always been in that advantageous position. Capsidal with a snipe out. And it's going to have to get out. That's on the attack as well for the side of Boston Breach, so maybe trying something a little bit different.
Well.
Oh,
Slasher,
crispy.
the absolute beam up top. And this is what they need. They need some sort of way back into this game. The S&D has all been sliding to one Boston Breach so far.
It's going to be the push here for Capsidal. You do have a sniper. Not necessarily where you want. I mean, he's pushing that with. He's pushed that with a pistol. This man is a maniac. He's an absolute maniac, and it's going to pay off for him as well. There's one on the spot. I tell you what, the rat does damage. Staying alive as best as he can. Is he going to be able to get away as well? But he's not really making the plays for his team because Hook's inside the site. He will find Nero, and this is absolute chaos over LOT. What the hell was that?
Left, right, and trying to stay alive. But LAG do get another one back onto the board here. This game is not done, and it was ambitious from Boston Breach, but not quite enough to try and actually crack the defense.
Capsidal's a lunatic. I mean, if he does that with MP4, yeah, I'm like, yeah, okay. Man's running up there with a pistol and a sniper on his back.
Well, let's see. Boston still looking for this win here in the S&D. It will be the attack for the LA Guerrillas. A scene this time with the bomb. And again, you can already see they're just trying to take a little bit of control here. We might be looking at another slow round.
Most of the rounds have been relatively slow until they aren't. To be honest with you, it's been a very slow, steady start to each of them, and then they very much do explode. Let's just chalk up the first 45 seconds, I would say. Have 45 seconds rounds and see how it goes. It does look like for the side of LAG. Posturing over towards the outside here. Looking for the picks once more. Which way are they going to fall? Slasher, did he see Nero across, and he gets the angle here. 45 seconds remaining, Bryce. LAG need to do something shortly.
And this is the problem. You're burning time. You're looking for the advantage as well. TJ, though, has been found out that hit marker is going to come through. His health is actually going to come back. They haven't managed to land a second on him.
Look at Hook, look at Hook, look at Hook.
It's the big play. Number 8, Hook, could open the door here. You can see already LAG are reacting to this with very little time remaining.
Capsidal's going to have to go huge.
Here it comes, here it comes. Capsidal looking for it as well. Finds the first one. Tries to stay alive. The second player, Slasher, is not going to be able to go down. 3 versus 3, but the LA Guerrillas do not have a time. He's behind them. He's got another one. And Slasher gets a third. And now Methodz is the last alive. And he tries to take down Slasher, but not that time. Not that gunfight. LAG claw this one away with like so little time remaining.
And really, that's on spot. He holds the angle over towards B. He's been that distraction. It's like, haha, guys, look, we're over at B still. Haha. Not really, but then he gets that transition. He knows they're going to be rotating, and he sees 3 of them push over towards P5. May well only find 1, but he butters up another as well for the rest of his team. There's 3 behind. Everyone spins round, and well, and I mean just about. LAG will find that round. Slasher on a 5 spree. He's been having a really good game so far.
I said before, and I'll say it again, Slasher has done nothing but impress me. So that Capsidal, though, looks for it again. He's going to find him. Hugh was just caught out in the open at the A side, and now Boston Breach. The onus is on them. They have the numbers. They have the opportunity. They haven't had a good time the last couple of rounds, but putting it to 5 will be great. Asim, though, going to find a fight on the stage.
Oh
Does end up winning versus Capsidal, and that was chaos.
3v3. Bombs going down here for Boston. And EJARs to maybe find some sort of control towards the back of your Boston Breach. They have plenty of it. LAG need to break this setup. Who's going to be the one to make the move first? Because I don't think Boston are going to be that team. They'll try and lock this in, but LAG, slowly but surely, will work their way around Docks. Let's see if they can find the kills here, though, because Methodz is ready.
Sneaky Methodz going to find Slasher.
Well
very
played.
Easy kill there in the end. And again, they're looking for him, and Methodz is going to shut it down. It's all now on the spot for a 1 versus 3. It's no good. It's Boston and Breach. They've got 5. And that is match point. Can they get the 6th?
Sublime positioning from Methodz, to be honest with you. You will quite often see ARs who are at the back. Oh, let's stare at the bomb. You've got 2 other players doing that job for you. They lock down the very back of Docks. And Methodz will find 2 of the easiest kills he's found all day long. Breach now in the ascendancy, 1 round away from finding themselves 2-0 up. Needs to be turned around here from LAG. We have seen glimpses, we've seen signs of life in this game. It is doable for them, but they need to start it with an attack.
Oh, here they go already, though. Q does manage to find a gap as Capsidal opens the door and says, hey, I'm just going to have a quick look out here. What could possibly go wrong? Well, but keep an eye on that mini-map, by the way. Nero was in a great position. He could potentially do something, especially with the backup of TJ. LA, though, have slowed this down. They know they don't want to make a mistake. They have the numbers.
Seam doesn't see TJ, and Nero will be getting free information here. Seam, is he going to know he's there? No way, he should have won that gunfight and didn't. TJ will find the kill here as well over towards offense. All of a sudden, it's 2 versus 3.
They're going to try and flick that through the door as well, but TJ's going to be there as well, and it's not be good for Spart. It's all now on the Hugh. He's got to get a 1 versus 3. 1 versus 2 now, and down he goes, and Boston Breach will take the search and destroy. They move up in this series 2-0. And they're still looking every bit as practiced, every bit as good as we've seen them in the qualifiers. And now they could potentially be moving forward with just 1 more map.
Couple of shaky rounds out of Boston, but it doesn't deter them. LAG just not enough for the Boston side on Berlin this time around. That will be a search and destroy their way as well. Comfortable is how I would kind of describe the situation now in this series. It has been somewhat comfortable throughout these last 2 maps. Will it continue into the control? I wonder. But for LAG, there's a couple of situations that you'll look back on. 1v3s that absolutely shouldn't be happening, didn't happen, but a couple of 1v1s it comes down to, and that can sometimes make the difference. But Capsidal, influential there. I absolutely love the push through mid-map with the rat. You don't see it from many players in this game, but Capsidal very much one who has that in his back pocket, quite literally. And that will be the win there for Boston Breach on map number 2. Looking good in the series, Prezi.
It certainly will. I've been a big fan of Capsidal since he came on the scene. And here's the thing, right? You've got to remember, Capsidal's story, his arc for this, is that he came in as a kind of like a controversial pick, we'll say, a controversial pickup. And his team believed in him. And what he's done is proved everybody wrong in the league so far, as he's continued to be, in my opinion, the X factor on Boston Breach.
100%. We were one of these people who were like, right, okay, well, we watched and casted challenges all last year. Shout out to you guys at home who were watching, of course, but we never really seen him at all. We didn't see him once. He wasn't in the elite once, hadn't really done much at all. It was Dens who turned around and said, look, I play with this guy Cap. I really think he has the potential to go on and play well. And well, great pickup from Dens. Fantastic work from the Boston Breach, getting in a player like this, believing in players like this. One of the teams that sort of said to themselves, we've had this conversation with Zed back and forth, haven't we? They don't want to set up a team just to be mid. They're very much one of these guys in the backroom staff who want to set up teams who could potentially win championships. You take the risk with players like Capsidal. It may well pay off.
It may certainly do. Well, we'll find out how the rest of this series does play out. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back for map number 3 here at the Minnesota Røkkr Major right after this break. Pushing.
The Call of Duty League is brought to you by Mountain Dew.
Continue to fight. But it's Methodz. Capsidal. Cap says, you know what? I would like to continue. For a 1v1. Team first. TJ now looks to find 4 of his own. And Nero will find insight. These Røkkr are hungry. Hey, girl. Got a man. Don't play. Said she always wanted me. Well, okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Minnesota Røkkr Major. The crowd is in good spirits and so are we. Currently, we are in the game Boston Breach versus the LA Guerrillas. Boston lead 2-0, but it's not over yet. And we've got to wait till the Vat Lady starts singing because anything could happen in this control, including something we got told during the break time.
Yeah, we'll maybe allude to it if we get into the game. We do see it. We've been given a couple of insider information. We know a couple of things that may well happen here for the side of LAG. Maybe something different is going to be brought out. We'll talk about it if it happens. If it doesn't, then we may... Oh, well, there you go. I mean, this is going to tell you. Hey, thanks, production. I was trying to tease them, if anything, but nonetheless, here we are. Apparently, a different AR coming out, the Volk on the side of things. Not something I've even personally used in the game, full stop. I ain't going to put it out there. I've not used it myself. It's very much auto MP40 all the way through. So the Volk going to come out by the sounds of things from LAG. I don't know what to expect, to be honest.
Well, so here's what I know, and it's, I'll be honest, not a lot, which is probably a lot of people in the chat.
It hasn't been used. Is there, how can we know?
So from what I understand, coming into it, it's very high in terms of the damage it can put out per second, and it is very, very aggressive. If you can hit with it, you will drop people incredibly fast. Whether or not that plays out into this one, I am looking forward to see, because let's face it, we all love a good meta change, and who knows? It could be the difference. It could be the start of a brand new era in Call of Duty League. Probably not, but maybe.
Possibly not. Yeah, look, I like to see teams experiment, though. I mean, obviously this would have come out in Scrim, so it won't be a surprise to any of these teams. You don't just bring it out on stage like this, right? Do you? You definitely would have practiced with it, wouldn't you have? You would have thought, but it's going to be Tuscan Control, where that practice is now going to come into play for their LAG. Boston, for them, this map in particular, relatively solid, I would say, although not necessarily played a lot in terms of both these teams. But for average ticks, that is an important stat now. With the change that comes in for the side of Control, of course, those ticks, those segments that you gain. Boston are the best team in the game at Tuscan, finding those segments. Can they make it count here as we head into map number 3?
Well, let's find out already. You can see P5 being stacked, and Ook is going to be here. Can you see him through the gap in the wall? I don't think so. It's all got a bit quiet. Eventually he's going to push through as well. It's Huxes, thank you very much. We'll have those 2 kills. Eventually will be traded out by Methodz. He flies through as well. How on earth has Methodz won that one? Eventually taken down by Spark, but the pressure's still rolling in here as Boston Breach are determined to get to B.
Yeah, they haven't really found a route through yet. LAG shutting this down, but Nero will find a little bit of room. Will get himself into church. Spot will shut down very, very quickly. What's that icon on the left-hand side there, Brycey? That ain't an auto. Let's see what Spark can get going with this new weapon that we haven't seen too much of. Capsidal will find the kill into a seam. Looks like A is where the concentration is going to be. Well, right now, Spark's absolutely beaming with it, as eventually he does fall. LAG looking to try and lock in this defense over towards A, but keep an eye on Cap.
Already you can see the pressure coming in here as A-Seam tries to get out of it as well. Eventually we'll be taking down you, but Spark with the Volk, and I'm looking forward to seeing, look at just the power that this gun exudes. And he's currently 6-3 with it. We were curious about how effective it was going to be, and apparently very, very effective.
Okay, it's working out for Spark so far over towards A. LAG up on the lives. Boston Breach not able to get too close at all. Hook's now popping off, and he doesn't need a new weapon. He does it good with the old MP40. Oh, the kill stock. What is this? What? Oh, this is maybe bad. Oh no, League play when I get back. Please, somebody help me.
Well, that game's over. That game is done. LA Guerrillas have shut it down. Boston Breach can't get anywhere. They can't move, and I'm wondering how they're going to react. And by the way, after this, we need to look at the teams again, because you can see the laughter coming in from LAG. The vibes, just off that round alone, have lifted their spirits. And Boston Breach may be a little bit shook.
Boston are like, yeah, we got the Volk class, boys. It's not there. I'm going to attempt to say the full name of it when we get into the next one. Did you notice it in the bottom right corner? I'll go for it. I will go for it. Tell me I won.
All right, well, I'll tell you something. Let's find out how this goes on the attack, though, already. Spark throwing bullets down range. already looking for this quick A push as well. I think we'll get that first blood with a nade, and Boston Breach are waiting for an exit kill, maybe?
I mean, Boston have found absolutely nothing so far. aLLeY have really caught them sleeping. Heading into map number 3, plenty of control here. You've got to watch the flank though, and Slasher's going to have to go huge for his team. We'll find one, will not get out. Shot's now going to come in. Spot, this is a free cap over towards A by the looks of things, but Methodz trying to survive. The team will find 1, 2, and 3 as well. Surely he can't find a 4th, he will not, but the A point goes over towards aLLeY. And just bear in mind, Boston found absolutely nothing on their attack in that first round. So very, very much something to look forward to towards that round number 5 if we do get there. But B is now the objective for aLLeY. How can they find it?
Well, here comes the pressure. It's all going to fall on the Capsidal at the back here. He's going to need reinforcements at some point. He's found that first player with MP40 as well. He's dipping, he's dancing, he's diving. He's still got nobody to come and help him. Somebody call out and get some bodies towards the back. Spart opens it up though, and now they're going to try and get it, and he guns him off it. And this is a terrifying weapon to see because Spart is not missing. He is destroying Boston Breach, 1 Volt shot at a time.
Oh, God have mercy on my SR when I get home. This is not looking good for everybody who does obviously play competitive online. That's going to be rocking up very, very quickly, you would imagine. It seems to pack a hell of a punch. And really, we haven't seen much of a match. It's full stop at all. It's very much been MP40 and AR coming from the auto side of things, but now Spart with the Volkstrom Goer. There you go. That's the second one as well. This thing just packs such a punch. My goodness me, 16 and 6.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, aLLeY just staying alive at the moment here, and man of the moment, Spart has shown us all something a little bit special today, with the pressure now coming back in. aLLeY Guerrillas trying to make this move. Spart already going to be on this one as well. Not going to be able to get that kill either. Boston Breach still holding strong. Slasher at the back. And I am seeing more and more of these Volks come out from aLLeY.
Yeah, I think there might be a conversation with some of the pros when we get back home. A couple of people dialing up, man, boys, when you have a look at this one. Nonetheless, working out for aLLeY, Boston Breach. I mean, look, if the fact that we knew aLLeY are bringing that out, it was production who give us that information over, then, well, surely this is being used in scrims. Surely it has been something that teams will know about. Methodz from behind. This may well shut this push down completely. If he can find even more than 1 kill, that would be phenomenal. Finds 2, but lives, Boston Breach looking very, very slim.
However, the time might be in their favor. Spart trying to get something done, and he does. They have stopped the clock here. Methodz going to put those nades down, try to slow this push here. aLLeY getting bodies on it as well. Capsidal might be the man who can make a difference here as they try to get this pinch coming through. The nades come through at the same time. Nero gets another. Time is running out. Slasher needs to stay alive just to give his team the opportunity to get through it as well, and he's not going to be able to win that gunfight. And all the hard work, everything that aLLeY Guerrillas have done so far in this game
that might be it.
Is coming to naught. They will get the first tick onto B, but I don't think they're going to get much else.
No extra respawns are remaining. Need to get inside the point very, very quickly. Is anybody going to be able to get there for the side of aLLeY? Slasher's the one in, and with minimal lives remaining, Boston Breach will lock in that defense. But they lose plenty of segments on the side of the control there, so bear that in mind if we do get to that round number 5. I'd say that is a win. You go 1-1, you win your attack side of things for the segments for aLLeY. You take the small wins where you can as we head into the 3rd round.
Well, there's a change in the air, and I wonder if it will be a change of fortunes as well. Still 1 between these two, but of course aLLeY will have the advantage. They have more ticks on board. Spart opens up proceedings against TJ.
You can hear it on the map. It sounds so chunky. Though with the MP40, this does damage as well. There's Nero falling, as does Cap. That B push that we've seen Boston Breach try so many times in their previous attack, not coming to anything to kick things off here in round number 3. Go back with Spart for me, go on. He's not using it anymore. He's using the auto now. Doesn't need it. Fantastic work from aLLeY. They defend so well at the beginning of this round.
See Slasher actually trying to push out P5, exactly what you should do, but it has not worked out for them now. Boston Breach are moving fast to try to get onto this B early. They know that it is looking likely they are going to have the event if they don't do something miraculous.
It's a decent enough push here for the Boston Breach. aLLeY, can they find these kills over towards the back? Seems going to break things open. That should be the defensive push coming on through. And aLLeY will clear this one away over towards B. Boston Breach have really not had much of a look on the attack, and we have that stack coming into it. They're the best team at finding segments here on Tuscan. They ain't found anything.
It's kind of crazy at the moment. Obviously, Boston will probably have to settle for this now. Just try to lock it in and get it completely and totally sorted. aBeZy, though, going to take their time to try to get in a position to pinch this down. You see that mini-map, they are spreading out for it as well, and it's going to be Boston Breach to try and absorb this pressure. Slasher opens it up as well. Methodz is that pre-aim locked in, desperately looking for him, and eventually will take it down, but there are bodies here from LAG. They are throwing it here to Seaman Spark, clear it off, and Boston Breach still don't have anything.
And Nero sent himself over towards B to try and get things rolling, counting on the rest of his team to stay alive, and Hook will find the easy kill over towards it. 2 ticks here for Breach. It's all they really have to write home about. Not the best of attacking starts for the side of Breach at all. They are going to find a couple of kills here over towards A, though. They will lock this site in. That will extend their timer. I don't think LAG are going to tempt anything here. They'll just look to lock in B, but Boston Breach, it took them a while. Spent a lot of time, a lot of resources on that one. A couple of pushes over towards B is all you've really got.
Yeah, and the game plan now for Boston Breach is essentially just got to begin here. If they can win this round, fantastic. It's not an easy proposition to do, though. But every tick they get may give an opportunity to come back and try to wrest that round 5 defense away. Capsidal stacking in a radio. You can see a player at the back, it's Methodz. They're looking for this, but they need an opportunity. They need to try and win a successive number of gunfights to actually push through into this.
Seam's got to hold this push. He's got to hold it. He checks it at the right, but the wrong time. Nero will find the kill, and now comes the push here for the Boston Breach. 9 lives remaining for their side of things, and they've got control towards the back of the spawn, but they need to clear out their flank, and it's Slasher ready and waiting. Is he going to find this gunny as well? He doesn't need to do the rest of the team out here. Nero now inside the point, capturing it as best as he possibly can. 8 lives remaining for Guerrillas, but only 5 for the side of Breach. 30 seconds, this might get a little bit mixy.
It is. What can Boston find?
That's a big nade.
It is. You can see Boston are ready for this. They know there's only one opportunity left. They're looking Capsidal going through. TJ coming through. Methodz coming through. They're looking for it as well. Spark managed to get one back. And TJ, a little bit of COD timing. But that first tick is in for them as well. TJ going to get shut down as well. Sasha desperately trying to find that player at the same time. And Boston are now all spawning out. Well, I say all spawning out. It's only Capsidal. And I'm not sure he can do much here in this 1 versus 3 unless he's got some magic in the tank. Looking for Slasher, and Slasher says no. No heroic victory for you. You're not going on Twitter. You're not going on Reddit. You're just going to sit down.
Very easily done there for the side of LAG, you would say. It always felt like it was there around, you know, these kills were kind of coming through at the right times for them. They may well only have 3 players remaining, but always kind of in control there in that round specifically. They are going to give a up, so Boston Breach will get a few ticks onto it. We'll keep an eye on the segment side of things to help us understand which way round number 5 is going to go for the defensive side of things, but I would say LAG, driving seat at the moment, it definitely feels that way. Can they maybe finish it off here with an attack? It's a 4-hit over towards A. Capsidal, mid-map control is what he's going for.
Well, they haven't ready up for it, and somehow he split his bullets between 2 players. And I thought he was pretty much home and dry here, and TJ hasn't managed to get a kill either. Just not hitting eventually. Will take down Slasher. Methodz takes down 2 at the same time, and LAG thought they might be able to get that very, very quickly done. They haven't, and the pressure now coming over towards B. Capsidal there, trying to shut it down. Spark using that Volk again to devastating effect.
TJ now wrapping around B. They can do with clearing these out. It's only a 1-tick advantage for the side of LAG as we head into this last one. But of course, they're the ones that are now going to be finding those ticks. So I mean, it's a guaranteed, pretty much, that they will have that that defensive side in round number 5. But I mean, they may be able to close it out pretty quickly here. They're already inside of B. They're doing the job here as well, as Hook will find one around the front, and Capsidal will answer back in. Well, you can't find anything there if you're the side of a seam. But that's ticks over towards B already. Not looking too bad for LAG here in round number 4.
Well, the pressure is now mounting. LAG are in the driving seat, but let's find out how they are feeling with the LA Guerrillas. Listen in.
He's on a 5. He's on a 5.
Okay, don't give him streaks. Do not give him streaks.
I'm trying to hold our flank.
Honestly, if we have to slow it down, we have 2 minutes. We have 2 minutes. We get slowed down.
TJ, deep left A, bro. Deep left A. I don't see him.
Yo, 1v5 right now. I'm gonna have to work this kid. Okay. Shit on.
Good shit, good shit. One guy was deep left A.
Top church.
We can go around together and use our tags.
Okay. Zinni was top church, wasn't he?
One guy's gonna be flanking, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I don't see step back left.
I'm in their base. There's nothing in their base. I'm pushing up.
Oh, deep left. TJ, one shot.
Nice.
One hit church on us.
You got church.
Bottom church on the PM.
Backside church.
One shot Nero. One shot Nero. He went to
Slid at me.
Field dead.
Nice, keep it up. One top rail. Zinni dead.
In the back, spawn in the back. TJ dead.
Spawn close. You guys probably have this.
Top green, I have him put.
There's one to B5.
There's spawning field. There's spawning field. They're going to
short and green. They're gonna fight. Already on point. One guy top green.
He's in the corner, TJ. In the corner, TJ.
Top green. Yo, two top green. Nero and Methodz. Top green.
aLLeY Guerrillas doing so much work there, and you could hear the tankers come through them as well. They slowed it down and they made more kills, but it's not quite enough. It's so difficult to get it here. And they put the pressure on, but Boston Breach stood strong. And now they're going to have to reset, rethink, and try to get back into it. 1 minute left, 1 kill difference. LAG want to end this right here.
Yeah, you really don't want to have to count on that defensive side coming over towards you. You will get it if you're the LAG. So they have that in their back pocket, but you'd like to win it, of course, in 4. Not in a bad spot to potentially do something here now as Boston Breach just trying to lock down the hatches, not let anybody in. Very, very slow. 40 seconds remaining here. Works out for the Breach. The less time, the better. Nero needs to hold this down, though. TJ and Methodz doing the job. Slasher has been an absolute menace. He's going to actually find a kill towards the back. It's going to open things up at the front there for Spark to now find this push. They've got to get rid of Cap, though.
They do. Spark try and make a big push. He does get it as well. The Vault doing more and more work.
That might be it. That might be it. They're stacking. They're stacking.
They've got several players on it. That second tick is coming up very, very quickly. But Hugh, they've managed to get a seam. And Methodz gets Hugh. And Nero gets Spark. And Slasher tries but goes down. And that may be the crushing defeat on this round for LAG, just when they thought they had it.
And you hate to see it. You absolutely hate to see it if you're an LAG fan. Nonetheless, they do have another chance. They will get a hold of the defensive hold for round number 5. Of course, we're not playing the kills. It's about the segments you find. And Boston found very little in their attacking rounds. LAG comfortably get defense for round number 5. But Boston just about hold on there thanks to a little bit of friendly fire. But round number 5, defense for the side of LAG. Boston have looked, I want to say, weak on the attack, if I'm honest with you. It really hasn't looked like they've been able to find anything. The Volk has been in their way. But it's third time the charm is now. We head into it. Can Boston find an attack to find a 3-0? Or can LAG make a series of it?
Already, you can see LAG opening up here. And Boston are trying to figure out exactly where do we go. There's pressure coming through. The seam is going to find something on the flank, surely. Finds TJ as well. Capsidal's there for the easy one. And Boston Breach.
Oh my God!
Nowhere to go, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. LAG have the defense and they are looking to capitalize on it.
There's a bit of a route that's just actually been broken through here from the Boston Breach, so that timer will be stopped. Capsidal inside the point. Can they defend him? Can they keep the team away? LAG may be sacrificing quite a little bit here. Lives on the side of LAG. Capsidal, though, very much pushed on forward. Keep an eye on a Spark coming on around behind. He's going to find a kill on the TJ. This might break this one open, but Capsidal still trying his best. He's the only one left, and he will fall. LAG rebuff the B attack.
That one tick could prove crucial, though. Obviously, Boston Breach doing the easy job here, getting into A, stopping the clock, getting the segments up. And LAG are spreading across the map. This may be a pinch coming through if they can find something. Spark down the back has already found himself one kill. Slasher and Hugh get one at the same time, and Boston Breach have been broken again. Slasher shutting it down, and Boston Breach are looking a little bit lost.
Look at the close spawns there for Breach. They're all going to be in mid-map very, very quickly. LAG not in a bad spot to answer back to this, though. They push very, very hard over towards Tile, so a bit of an abnormal spawn comes in for Breach. Gives them a little bit of purchase over towards A. Which with a very, very happily take by the looks of things. TJ's going to be taken down. Spot's having a hell of a game at 37 and 22. A 5 spree for him if he can find the streaks. May well be the nail in the coffin there for Boston on map number 3.
Well, didn't play for them. Not going to get them either. Slasher, though, on platform is going to be a key player here as well. I say that Hugh's going to take down Nero before they can even get anything going. And for Boston Breach, you haven't managed to do this yet. Can you do it here in the very final round?
Seam is going to fall for LAG now. Don't really have much of a flank setup. Boston Breach have got a lot of control in around top church, in towards radio, and they will find the kills here. For LAG, this is kind of not a good position to be in whatsoever. You're all going to be fighting from the front. The shots are coming in here from Archers. Capsidal in. Capsidal finds a kill. Can't find a second spot. Said answer. The trades are going the way of the Breach, though. Here for LAG. They're all dead here almost all of a sudden. Slasher needs to find the break around behind. That tick's going quickly, Brycey.
That second one's coming in as well. They know where Slasher's going to be, and TJ finds him.
Gotta go.
And Boston is still getting it. Seam tries to dive. Methodz gets the kill. Spark and Nero. And Boston Breach in the very final round of the control. Find B. They find the attack. And they move forward here at the Major with a clean 3-0.
Boston Breach show absolutely nothing on the attack until they do. Kills come in, and for LAG, they had 0 control in church, 0 control in radio. And all of a sudden, if you're the Boston Breach, you just gotta look in front of you. That's where they're coming from. They find the kills, they find the segments, they find the map, they find the series 3-0. Boston Breach. What a comeback on that control. It felt like nothing was going their way. And LAG, what a way to lose it.
It certainly is. LAG thought, we've got that in the bag. We have it, but the patience, the chemistry, the teamwork, and the ice in the veins from Boston Breach proved too much. They adapted to the Vault coming out and frying them all over the map. But I'll tell you something, time for a walk down memory lane. Let's look at how that last one went down.
Right, yeah, as I was talking about, look where Methodz is. This is radio, this is top, these are the areas you want to lock down if you're on the attack. Always as a defensive team, you want somebody on the flank. So Hook's dead. Look at where everybody from LAG is. They're in and around B, they're in their spawn. There is nobody flanking, and that's what makes it so hard as an attacking team to try and get in. There's always somebody on your flank. You find the kills at the front, LAG, you do not now have time to wrap around. The spawn comes in church, Slasher is there, they force them away, and now all of a sudden it is panic stations for LAG. And that's just about having no radio control. Nobody flanking at the time of when these kills come through. You lose the crucial gunfights, and you lose the round, and you lose the map. It's as easy as that.
Well, what a thriller that last round was. We didn't know whether or not it would go down like that, but I'll tell you something, when Control plays out with a brand new gun in the meta, anything was on the table, and I look forward to seeing the development of that ton.
Yeah, the Vault looked really, really good. Spartan dropped nearly a 40 bomb. It kind of looked like the situation at the start of the rounds, the auto was being used. It looks like it's that middle gun in between the MP40 and the auto. So yeah, that's something to watch out for the rest of the week.
All right, well, that was a thrilling game, but let's hear from our beautiful experts up on the desk what they made of it.
Bryce, you're beautiful too, man. Well, we made it at. That was an insane game, but yo, we gotta give it a spark with the Vault KR. I didn't know what to expect, to be completely honest, but he was frying.
No, he was. I think I've seen it a couple of times in like the college COD League. I've seen some players in that use it. It's this weapon that's kind of in the middle, as they said. If you watch like Black Ops 4, it kind of reminds you like that Maddox. So you can kind of do it all. I mean, it's difficult at times, I think, to hit some of those headshots, right? It's not as much of a laser beam as the auto, but it has great straight speed, as you can see here. And I mean, the thing packs a punch, it really does. So if you can get going with this, put yourselves in a good position, I mean, obviously you can find a lot of kills like Spar was.
We love a king that shifts the meta right there. And the Vault was great up close as well. Nameless, all eyes were on Spartan Slashers, the AR players, and they definitely deliver, man.
Yeah, it's a tough situation to be in. You're playing against a hot Boston team, but he comes out, makes the most of it, and he leaves a lasting impact. I need the class ASAP Rocky, as Ali says, and you can see some tweets here, the meta shift. No, he leaves a lasting impact, and that's exactly what you want to do if you're a player like Spart, trying to come in and show off on the main stage, even if you're playing a very tough team. He had a fantastic match.
Yes. And Ali, that Control game was so back and forth. It was like a little seesaw battle, but Boston, you just couldn't stop them.
Listen, I said it the last time we were at the Major when we talked about the ticks being changed into the objective versus the kills, and why Boston's so good at it. They recognized the stack potential in the middle of the round. My notes literally have Nero in all exclamation points, screaming stack, because he played patient. He sat in church. He waited for her teammates to call out. He makes that push. He finds the player in the back, and once they see that kill feed light up, Nero sprints to the point to stack it with the rest of his teammates, because LAG has no time to cook the nades. They have no time to, they just have to sprint at the hill. Boston knew that, and that's what got them that offensive win.
Right, and we actually have Methodz on the main stage for the Game Field post-victory spotlight. Let's go ahead and take it away.
Zinni, my guy, how you doing? I feel good. Yeah, I bet you're feeling good. So, stage 2 qualifier, #1 overall KD, #1 S&D KD, #1 hardpoint KD, #1 control KD. You're like LeBron right now. Correct. No, but I want to talk about the team in a minute, but individually, something's clicking, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's more so the team. Obviously, I'm the main AR, so they're sort of running in front of me, but I haven't felt this confident individually in a long time, so just keeping the foot on the pedal, keep working, and hopefully we can take a tournament home to Boston.
I would love that, but I feel like sometimes, I mean, I forget like how long your career's been, right? Like you've been around forever, because there was like a hiatus where you didn't compete for a couple of years. Like to go through that, to have your success, then the struggles, then not on a team, then I feel like you get picked up, do well, get dropped, like all over the place. To now to feel you have a home, be performing this well, it's got to feel great.
Yeah, a lot of self-belief. You go on the Call of Duty Reddit, and last year they weren't very kind, but it's just working hard, right? Just putting in the hours, and like I said, I think my teammates are the real MVPs here. I mean, the two rookies they came in firing. Everybody wrote TJ off. I think our team just has a chip on our shoulder, and looking forward to proving the world wrong still.
Well, I would love that. Let's talk about the team then, because I interviewed you at the last event, and you kind of talked about the positives and the negatives of having young players, right? Sometimes there's mistakes, but they'll run around like little crackheads and make plays when you need them to. Yeah. How has that developed now, kind of to this point? Has it improved?
Yeah. I mean, the two rookies have improved. I mean, I think they're the rookies of the year, right? Not just one of them, I think both. Both of them, they're not scared to make plays. They're great search players. Not very often do you see rookies come in and play with that type of confidence. So I'm happy to have them. Obviously happy to have TJ, and yeah.
The crowd is obviously behind you. It's been very cool to see. I guess I want to hear just about the map 3. I mean, you guys are on offense, round 5, not an easy thing to do. How'd you close it out?
I'm just screaming stack the point, man. I mean, that point, they're spawning, they're throwing nades. We got a few kills. I'm screaming stack point. We pretty much just got kills from there, and sometimes it either falls in your favor or it doesn't, and this time it did. So good games, LAG. Real quick, I want to give a big shout out to Pierce Gunless. He's one of the best players I've played with and against. Obviously, we want him to get better as soon as possible so he comes back to this stage. So big shout out to Pierce.
Hey, Zen, you're a class act. I appreciate you. Good luck the rest of the way, pal. Back to the desk.
What a class act. Shout out to Gunless right there. But man, this is a good day so far. 2 good games. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling like TJ, but aLLeY, to put a bow on that whole series right there, what do you have to say?
Boston Breach look like they have a huge turnaround from that loss versus London, and they're coming for blood here at this major too. But I also want to say, Spart for subbing in, I think he did an incredible job in this series.
You got that right. Now, Merc, you're not going to be on the desk for the next series. We actually have Atlanta FaZe.
I might, dude. These chairs are comfortable.
I know, these are nice. They hooked it up.
I'm going to be hanging out here for a bit, dude. You know what I mean? Hey, I'm just saying.
You're right. We got New York faced off against Atlanta FaZe. All right, honestly. How do you feel about that game, man?
I mean, listen, like, right away, I think FaZe has the advantage. But sometimes in Call of Duty, you make your roster changes. It's like honeymoon period. Things are going your way. It's a really tough matchup. Like, could it be a close one? Could potentially New York upset them? Yeah, with Atlanta FaZe coming off runners-up, this is kind of their revenge tour, if you want to say. So you would expect them to win. But it's not an easy round 1. It's not.
All right, well, we're going to find out to see if there's going to be yet another upset today, and I can't wait. On the other side of this break, we're going to get the Atlanta FaZe and the New York Subliners. But once again, big shout out and much love to the Boston Breach with a big 3-0 victory over LAG. We'll catch you guys on the other side for some more CDL action.
The Call of Duty League is brought to you by Game Fuel. Victory in a can. Upgrade your game with a Scuff, the official controller of the Call of Duty League.
Hello, hello, and welcome back to Major 2 out here in Minnesota, and things are just starting to heat up as we enter the third series of the day. But welcome back to the desk. I'm Belly, this is Ten. Just got off a great cast. We got aLLeY and also Nameless. And aLLeY, when it came to the Scuff play of the game, yo, Methodz had a crazy 1v2 to close it out.
I mean, you could say it was crazy. It was honestly just a really good methodical play. He was waiting in back warehouse, and he found the player going on the flank, and he snaps on the next one. So obviously he catches Slasher off guard. He easy reads that somebody else might be back here on the hunt for him. He drops down, Asim goes for the challenge, and he quick snaps onto him. That was a huge play to make them go up 5-3 in the series and end up closing it out.
Yeah, it's got to be a good thing that Boston just really came to the second event. They won their first game outright, what we expected. I mean, what are your thoughts for them heading to later in the tournament?
I think they're now staring down the barrel of a winner's bracket final. You've now got Florida next coming up. You would, I said it during the cast, if you are Boston, you see that London v Florida game, who would you rather play? Irrelevant of the result, you'd rather play Florida, right? Yeah. Of course you would. So, I mean, would you not?
They're scary, man.
They're scary, but on paper, you still would rather play Florida, right?
No, you would rather play Florida. They've fallen to London, they've fallen to London already recently, so having to come off that loss 100%. Into the second round, they definitely would have wanted to play Florida. Yeah,
this event is starting to heat up. Middle of the pack teams are starting to rise to the top. And speaking of which, we actually have the New York Subliners taking on the Atlanta FaZe. When it comes to the New York Subliners, we actually got to talk to Crimsix at one of the last play days about the progression of the team. Let's go ahead and hear what he had to say.
Oh, I'm getting sick and tired of us beating people and then people tweeting out, at the lowest point, we lost to New York. We must be horrible, right? Like, we must be complete. How do I say this? I've already cursed twice. I'm gonna get fined. Like, everyone thinks we're complete dog shit, all right? Hey, no longer. All right. Start taking us serious. Start watching our VODs, and we'll see what happens. All right.
And you see right there, the vets on that team. He's very optimistic, right? But he's right. The team was trash, but now we're kind of undefeated with this new team change.
Yeah, he's getting that sense of confidence back. Like, this is Crimsix, who's won so many tournaments, and their team is just getting dragged through the dirt the last couple of months. So to win a few matches, he wants his opponents to respect him, watch his VOD, and prepare, because teams go into this match versus New York with full confidence, but that is no longer. They're going to have to prepare and get ready for this new and improved team.
You're right. And when it comes to New York, you and Bryce were actually casting a game where your duo said, I don't have a skill to judge how good this team is yet. We haven't seen their peak.
We haven't, and this will be a good test to kind of see where they are at, because New York, I mean, beforehand, they were terrible. We don't need to talk about too much more. Yeah. I was nearly depressed watching and casting over their games, but now things look very, very good for them.
And when it comes to the game field keys to victory?
All right, well, when it comes to New York Subliners keys to victory, the SMG duo needs to match the Tiny Terrors in slaying. Since the roster change, Neptune has had 1.16 and HyDra's 1.14. We have seen the vibe kind of regain with these two. They wanted to play together, now they are frying, and get rid of Bocage Hardpoint. Obviously, Atlanta are 7-0 on it. Just do not put it in the series. Sure, you might be 2-0 since the roster change, but I would rather play to their weaknesses than their strengths. Find control improvements. Winning 43% of rounds with the new roster, that is 11th overall, but with control is a very team-based game. I think that's going to be something that will have to build over time with a roster that's kind of been playing hot potato with who's on the lineup.
And this young SMG duo are definitely going to have to pick it up against the Tiny Terrors, because Neptune and HyDra are nice and all, but Simp and aBeZy are just built different.
If they can put up those stats that we just seen in those keys to victory then they're fine. That would be great. But it's going to be very, very difficult. I think it was them, the SMG side of things for New York has been looking good, but yeah, you need rid of that Bocage as well, though. You don't want to try and you don't go to it.
Not at all. No. And when it comes to Atlanta FaZe in general, aLLeY, no matter how many times they lose or who they lose against, whether Seattle off upset or whatnot, FaZe is still FaZe at the end of the day.
FaZe is still FaZe at the end of the day, but I will say this. They have been struggling to rotate hard points, except for Bocage, where they can kind of get away with forcing themselves through the front of the map, but they're also not comfy in search and destroy yet. They have some nasty nade spots, but they are struggling to capitalize on first bloods. Whenever they play offensive on S&D in a fast A push, they win 60% of the time, but they only 36% of the time get the first blood, so they got to capitalize on that advantage.
Yeah, and for the game field keys to victory for Atlanta FaZe, I mean, you know, before we get into that first one, and hardcore, I think FaZe has been great, 7-3 in their last 10. And in terms of rotation, Gavutu has been elite for them, especially P3 into P4, and then it's map 1 in this series. So for FaZe, they got to hit Berlin with the hot veto. NYSL is 3-0 with the new roster with a 129-point average differential. Atlanta is 1-1, and they did get rid of that map, so they're good. And then work on your Gavutu P1 Money Hill setups. FaZe 50% hold rate. The league average is 74%. We've seen a lot of teams really turn it around when it comes to that P1, namely OpTic Texas. When we saw Scump turn up there, it can just be a pivotal swing point in that map. And then come to the event with Gavutu control improvements. They're 2-6, last in round win percentage on Gavutu. That is going to be map number 3 in this series. So we'll see if Atlanta is finally good at that map. It seems to be the one that holds them back from getting that chip, especially going up against OpTic.
All right, the players are just about ready. But before we jump into the games, let's go ahead down the line for pick'ems. Ton, yo, lay it on me thick, man. Who you got winning this game?
I think you can't look past Atlanta FaZe. Let's be honest. Look, New York have looked really good. They've started to look better. I still think it's a step too far, though. I think their limit at this moment in time is in and around top 6. Atlanta FaZe, step too far.
aLLeY, would you call me smack right now if I want New York to win this matchup?
You can want me to.
Honestly, I'm right there with you. Let's go. There's no pressure, baby. Listen, I think the sub duo with the way Simp and aBeZy have been playing, I think Neptune and HyDra on top of their game could absolutely push them to the limit. I think they could absolutely match up. But now I'm actually going to be looking at the likes of them matching up against Cellium and Arcitys. Those are the 2 players I'm worried about in this series.
Exactly. All right, nameless, Atlanta FaZe.
I'm going to go with Atlanta FaZe, yeah. I mean, they've definitively been a top 2 team all year long. I mean, they beat everybody that they need to beat. Atlanta FaZe, they're going to win the series.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time to jump right into another game. We got Atlanta FaZe, the New York Subliners. Let's go ahead and get the ball rolling. We'll catch you guys on the other side.
Are we ready? Let's get this show on the road. Cellium fights 2 right off the red. Makes it 3. Taken down 1 by 1. Last man standing. Oh! It's real early. aBeZy waiting to pounce. There's the next. Giving the last point for him. Waiting for his demise. And there it is. Look at the mini-map FaZe are in. It's the guts. It's the glory. It's the championship for FaZe.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just started, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soar, I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, job that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the ground on the cards is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to get into this next game. And while it may be cold outside here in Minnesota, it is going to warm up here on the stage. We are live in the winner's bracket, and 2 more Titans of the CDL are about to throw down. One team has found a new lease of life. The other is trying to regain the crown. 2 incredible teams ready to throw down and see how much further they can actually go in this major. But I got to ask, crowd, you know, we've had some good crowds at LANs before. How are we all feeling today? Oh, I love to hear that. I love to hear a little bit of passion here at the LAN. And that's what I'm excited for. I started in LAN and I will continue. But it is time to get our teams onto the stage. All the way from the Big Apple, the New York Subliners! PaulEhx, Neptune, HyDra, and Crimsix.
We talked about the young SMGs, but the new guy, PaulEhx, he's been crazy lately for this roster.
I completely agree with you, and I like the arm warmers we got on HyDra. Looks like he's about to go to track practice, so he's ready to heat up.
Hey, yo, Bryce, go ahead and bring out last year's champs, man.
Well, you said it exactly. Last year's championship team, the home of the Tiny Terrors. It's Atlanta FaZe! Arcitys, aBeZy, Simp, and Cellium.
And with a team that sets the tone and always the pace in games, they're looking to just sweep this match.
But at the same time, I've never felt so much little confidence in a team that has these guys on it. They need a good start here if they want to retake that crown.
We got New York, we got Atlanta. Let's go ahead and get this game going.
All right, one more time into the Crucible. Over to our casters for this game. It's Studdy and Lando.
Thank you so much, Brycey. Yes, this is going to be a fantastic series. We're obviously stoked for this. And Jay, you know, it's a little bit of a different situation. I feel like weeks ago, we were talking about how this is going to be an easy 3-0 for Atlanta. Right now, tone's a little bit different.
Yeah, New York, I don't know. Ever since they picked up PaulEhx, they're on a 3-game win streak, undefeated in hardpoint. That's the biggest thing you take away. They're 6-0 in hardpoint ever since they're added PaulEhx. They've been able to win a majority of these series either 3-0 or 3-1. They just completely flipped the switch for this NYSL roster.
Yeah, they have. From a team that was literally, what, like 0-13 in hardpoint to now winning their last 6. As we said, it's going to be a good series to really evaluate where both of these teams sit right now. Obviously for Atlanta, finally Simp is going to be back. We obviously wish the very best for him. Now he's feeling better. Now here at the Major, not sure where this team sits, and I feel like the barometer is definitely going to be up and down for the Subliners throughout this game. They play well. That starts to rise, and I don't know where you really rank them even if they were to lose this game.
It's going to be difficult, though, because they're going up against Atlanta FaZe still. Yeah. But when you take a look at our maps and modes, we actually predicted the first 4. The only one that threw us off was that Game 5. Gavel 2 hardpoint to start us off is beautiful. Obviously, on the side for Atlanta FaZe, they haven't really enjoyed this map. They're sitting at 6-4 overall compared to NYSL, who are 1-3. But they are 1-0 when PaulEhx is on this roster. The only thing that really scares me, though, is that map 4 and that map 5, because 0-5 on the side of NYSL for Tuscan hardpoint. Keep in mind, they have yet to play it with this brand new team. But still, when you go up against a team like Atlanta FaZe on one of their better hardpoint maps, it's got to be scary. You need to answer early into this series.
Yeah, it's like you have the positives of like, hey, well, the other team doesn't know what to expect. At the same time, you don't really know what to expect either. One of the big things as well, when it came down to the map set, Jay, that you and I were talking about heavily throughout our preparation last night, what's going to be the control, right? Because New York has the higher seed by definition over Atlanta FaZe. That means they get to choose the control versus teams they have a higher seed against. They actually have it versus FaZe, and they're bringing out Gavutu, a map that we talk constantly has been a primary struggle point for FaZe.
Yeah, Atlanta FaZe, they haven't seen a lot of success on it. They're sitting at 2-6 on that map compared to NYSL, who are 3-4. And with this new roster, I'm pretty sure they're sitting at 1-1 on this map specifically. So NYSL, it's all about starting off high. You saw the stats come up. Neptune so far, ever since he's entered back on this lineup, in the 3 matches that they have played, he's sitting at a 1.32 currently in hardpoint. It's insane stuff.
Oh my goodness, you gotta love this. Spam this taco to help Paco, spam this pep to help Nep, spam this ball to help Paul, and finally spam this brim to help Crim. Shout out to that guy for just the absolute dominance in regards to the lyrics. The rhymes are on point.
Bars.
Those were bars. That was straight bars. And I'm curious to see, man, these 2 guys have begun on our screen, right? The 2 new additions. Obviously, Neptune new for the season, but brought out of the roster, now brought back. Paul still trying to keep up the undefeated streak. It is going to be a phenomenal, phenomenal match. Minnesota, are you ready for this game? Sounds like they're ready, Jay.
Sounds like they are.
Are you ready?
I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
You're ready to see New York.
Hopefully. I'll be happy to see some New York. But it all starts, if you're on the NYSL roster, you have to shut down one player on this team on the side of Atlanta FaZe. And it